We're gonna do interview now. Can you be quiet?
You don't have to be 100% quiet. Please feel free to bare breasts.
This is my friend here, Bill Zebub from New York City.
Well, before we begin, let me just tell you that this is not a trap interview. So if I ask you a question you don't like, just say, hey. All right, so
Let's go.
Well, the first question I have is, I didn't know I was going to interview you, but now that we are here, go ahead, pass by.
Go, man. It's okay. How's the interview?
Sorry, guys. I just wanted to
The man. No. Just go. Just do it.
Could you tell the world why Krisiun has survived all these years?
He's right. Because I think in our heart, so much passion for metal, and that never dies, and it gets stronger every year. So I never figure myself not doing this. I live for metal. I born for this, you know, and whatever happened, I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm not looking to be famous or to success or whatever. I play metal because it's in my blood, and we never give up. And I think you're gonna keep doing this for the next years.
I did notice in the early days of Krisiun that in New York City there were bands who came to see your show, and they wanted you to mess up because they couldn't believe that a three-piece can do what you do on stage, and after you played, they always bowed to you. How do you feel about that?
Man, I feel great. That means that they admire us, and to be in U.S., the land of thrash metal, death metal, and when they see us as a strong band, for me it flatters me a lot. It's a big pleasure. I love it. Thank you so much, all American bands that try to see us fucked up or whatever. Like we love you all. No problem about that. Yeah.
Before you had an American record deal, were you powerful in the Brazilian metal scene?
Not really, man. Brazil, they always respect us. They start respecting us when we start doing this overseas. Like we get a deal in Europe, so they start like paying attention for us, because when we were there, nobody gave us attention because Brazil was so much busy giving praise for old Sepultura, which was on that time with Max and Roots or KOZD or whatever record, and so many other bands, and but we were a band that always have its own path. We run our own path there, and on the beginning it was really hard because nobody accept us in Brazil, nobody respect us in Brazil, but I think it started in U.S. like with bands like Morbid the Angel, Incantation, some other bands, Cannibal Corpse guys, whatever. Like they start like talking about us, and so they were like in Brazil, they were like saying like, oh, okay, those guys are admired outside of Brazil, so you should give them some respect. But in the end, Brazil never really gave us what do we deserve, I guess. Yeah.
There have been interviews when you spoke about the sloppy playing of other guitar players, and could you talk about? When you play, you perform what you play on the record, which is crazy. But would you like to talk about the sloppy guitar playing of other people, or would you rather be polite about it?
I think nowadays we get the Pro Tools stuff going on. Like so many bands, like they go on studio and they do a lot of copy-paste riffing, drumming stuff. And for me, in my opinion, a band have to sound better live instead on the record, always. So I always like, I want to make sure that we're gonna deliver the best we have on a live situation instead the studio. Studio is really easy to cheat on everything, you know. Nowadays, technology, Pro Tools, whatever, you can just, man, play like shit and sound really great. So the records nowadays, don't believe it, don't trust that. First, see the bands live to see if they really can play that, you know. So I felt that. Like even like old bands, I learned that from Hendrix, from Deep Purple, Black Sabbath. When you see them live, they play always better live instead studio, you know. So I always want to sound better live, because live is present time life, you know, like we are living here and now, and we want to present them what you got in your guts, and not in the studio. Studio is really easy to fake.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're just metal. Go,
Man,
pass by.
It's a tour buzz interview, so no big deal. Just,
Everybody knows what this is.
yeah.
Who's that guy?
Justin.
Well, getting back to all this, there were people who wanted to hate you in the New York City metal scene, but you always won. You had a victory over them at the end.
Thank you.
Because they could never believe that just guitar and just bass could do what they heard on the album. Would you like to talk about that to the television land?
And I love my haters. And I think you are the ones that improve us the best and make us really happen. Because without haters, who would be us? Nothing, you know. Like hate and love are the most connected emotion a human being have, you know. So once somebody hate you, it's because deep inside they love you. And if they want to see us fuck up, we can fuck up, man. We are not machines, you know. We're not saying we're the best, whatever. In a live situation, any shit can happen, you know. Human beings, sometimes you're good, sometimes you're bad, you know. Like, but I try to do the best I can for the ones that attending the show, that come here, pay the tickets and whatever. So I will always try to do my best, even when I'm sick, when I'm bored, when I'm fucked up. I always try to do my best, man. So don't mistake about that. I always will try my best. Yeah.
You and I come from the time when metal really was metal, but now there are some pussies in metal. Would you like to talk about anything that has affected you from the younger fake metal pussies?
Man, we survive all trends, all fashions, since from the early 90s, you know. There was grunge, there was black metal, there was retro thrash, there was melodic death metal, whatever. We survived. We are making this happen, you know. So, and I know next year is going to be another trendy, another stuff, and we're going to be there, you know. And I believe that once you're loyal for your fans, they are loyal for yourself. So I'm sure whatever you play, don't matter if it's in US, South America, Asia, Australia, or whatever, I know some guys that are like us that believe in metal, they are going to be there, you know. So metal is like that, man. It takes a time sometimes to people respect you. And nowadays there's so many bands out there, so many labels, management, whatever, pushing it. Every week you get a new band or something going on. But in the end, what matters is if you're loyal for the people that likes you.
If there are people who do not know what Krisiun means, can you tell television land what that is?
The name of Krisiun?
Yes.
We took the name Krisiun from the moon atlas. You know that, right? From actually,
I know, but I don't want to. This interview is not about my knowledge.
Actually, was from Jethro Tull record. They have the moon on the record, and they got all the name of the moon craters there. And there was one Mare Krisiun, and you say, man, sounds good, sounds different, because all the death metal bands are using like bloody, satanic, or whatever name. You say, man, let's get Krisiun name, you know. So we took from a Jethro Tull record, and up to be good. All right.
Is there in America prejudice is against skin color, against ethnicity, but in Brazil, where you're from, is there also prejudice that maybe the world doesn't know?
There is, for sure. Brazil is a land, is like US. There's all types of culture. We got a lot of Germans down Brazil all after the Second War or whatever.
Oh, those are the Nazi people who wanted to...
Oh, yeah. Man, there's prejudice everywhere. Everywhere, every square meter in the world, there's prejudice against Can be against you, can be against whatever, against Jews, against Polish, against Brazilians, against whatever people. You know, it's easy to find it. You go Europe, people many times are against Americans or whatever. It's you see everywhere it. But I don't care, man. I follow my way, you know. I don't give a fuck.
Well, the reason I asked that is, you know, white people only think that prejudice is skin color or very easy. But I talked to a Brazilian at a New York show. It wasn't a Krisiun show, but he said that Krisiun comes from the whitest city in Brazil, and a white person would never think about something like that. So what does that mean to a Brazilian?
Man, like I said, we just play, man. I don't concern so much about racism, politics. We are much more connected for spiritual, cosmic stuff. We are gonna die. I don't give a fuck if you're white, if you're black or whatever. You know, like I say, you can find prejudice everywhere. You know, like whatever douchebag say, oh, I'm white, I'm good, or I'm whatever. You know, but that don't connect to me. You know, I'm connected for the great, the earth itself. Cosmic shit, you know.
But inside Brazil,
the place, like, we do the best. We sell a lot of records in Germany, the best. We went for charts in Germany. We on some billboard in U.S., you know, where people have a lot of racism or whatever. And we as Latinos, we do so well, you know. So I don't care about that, you know. That's something that don't affects me, you know. Like whatever. If you have a problem with myself, my skin color, come and tell me. But nobody ever came and tell me anything, you know. I think they're afraid. So if you think you're superior, you come and tell me something, and I'm gonna tell you something back, you know. So that for me is really something that don't exist. It's just something on the news, it's media. Fake news is everywhere, man. It feeds you up. They change your mind, and you think that you're okay. People are against white people. White people are against these blacks or whatever, man. But in the end, your personal life, we are miserable. So we are gonna die. It's not. It's like. I know in U.S. there's much more racism than anywhere in the world, even more than in Germany, anywhere else.
They pretend that it's not, but it is.
You see a lot of people that descend from Jewish, Polish people that the fucking Germans were killing down there. They are here, they pretend to be Nazi or whatever. Man, people just have a big misconception about everything. You know, like it's nothing. It's a human failure about the personality they have. You know, like they don't grow up as a person, as a human. You know, so they always need to throw a stone on everyone. You know, it is not only racial; it can be on something else about what you like or not. You can hate anyone. Hate is because you hate yourself. When you hate yourself, you hate the others. You know, when you like yourself, you don't need to do that. So I always say, this is your hatred is inside yourself. You hate yourself. You don't hate me.
Well, the reason I brought that up is it's leading to something else. Like I know a long time ago, Krisiun was punished by Texans. You were banished from some Texas city.
But there was Latinos, Christians, against us and Angel Corps. Most of the people that were there were like these Spanish people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that preach for Christ and stuff. We never had problem with whites in U.S. Never, ever.
But I never thought that Krisiun was something that was very satanic or very extreme in any belief. Could you tell Television Land maybe what that really was? What is Krisiun?
Because you get a pentagram. I think we were one of the first bands that get a bloody pentagram on a poster. It was Krisiun and Angel Corps in '99 in Corpus Christi, Texas. People is really against that, and they saw that bloody pentagram, and the poster were saying like apocalypse start at 10 o'clock or something like that. So for them, that was like a big affront or something. You know, like they didn't like it. They went down there with cops and shit. They shut the show. They shut down. You know? That's what happened, for real. And we got one time we got a show in Poland. They shut down the place. Was us, Vader, someone else. We got arrested in Bangladesh because of Muslims. We got a show in Brazil one time canceled because of church or whatever. So it's everywhere. It's not only here. Come on, wake up, man. It's everywhere. Like prejudice is everywhere. Like I say, like somebody, maybe even your neighborhood where you live, they see you say, fuck, man, who the fuck you are? Look this hair, look this guy, you know, like whatever. It's easy.
I know.
It's easy to hate somebody. It's hard to be kind, you know. So that's why you see. But the world is changing nowadays, you know. Especially in the US, I see a big change nowadays, you know. So for me, it's like always concerned about my own path. I don't care about what people think. If you care about people think, you're never gonna be yourself.
I'm glad that you said that. How has Krisiun changed from the early days? Because Black Force Domain was mind-blowing when I first heard it. And many years have passed since that album. What is different about Krisiun between Black Force Domain and now?
We got signed to Century Media Records, which is a big label. And we are still on that label for after 20 years. And they sold the record company for Sony, which is a major company. And we just renew our deal with Century Media for the next 10 years. 10 years. That means they like us and we like them. They never gave up on us. They want to do more and more. Our last record is relentless death metal, organic. It's not digital, you know. And we reached the German charts, the Switzerland charts. We reached the Billboard in the US, whatever, doing this type of music without any commercial attempt or whatever. And we are doing this, you know, and we're gonna keep doing this. Some people out there support us, and so that's I see this like don't matter who you are, what you do, loyal people are always gonna be loyal to you because we are loyal for them. You know?
How do you feel about the very young people who are new to metal, or I don't want to say new to metal like I'm making fun of them, but they are MP3 people, they are right-click people, they are Spotify people. Does that help or hurt Krisiun?
Man, I see a lot of young people digging Krisiun nowadays. You know, like I think some years ago where like death metal was not doing good, well. It's like up and down, like for all type of music, you know, like it's like whatever, glam rock, thrash or whatever, you know, like and I see some, I think the new generation, they are gonna start looking for old school bands because they are fed up with so many like modern bands all the time. Modern bands, they got MP3s, they got all, and nowadays the kids, they want patches, they want vinyl, they want something different. Because MP3, Spotify, or whatever, everyone has that. Their mother has that, or whatever, and they want to be different. So it's like they want to buy vinyl. Vinyl is selling like crazy, you know, patches, shirts. So I see a lot of kids in Europe. They want to be like we were in the 80s, you know, patches, records, instead of fucking MP3. MP3 is something old already. Wave or whatever, it's old. Like, man, kids, they don't dig it anymore. Like, it's for old people. Get a fucking Spotify or whatever. This is old already, you know. They're looking for something else, more aggressive, more real, touchable.
Have you ever wondered, as you pack up and you get tired after a show, after a tour, did you ever regret this path in life?
Never, ever. Every second of this life for me is amazing. I do this. Man, I'm so fortunate to travel around the world and see and meet people everywhere and get new friends in US, in Asia, in Philippines, in Singapore, in Japan, in Australia, everywhere. And we all connected, you know, all connected by metal, you know, and so this is a strong feel that you go home and you feel, man, this is fucking amazing. I'm so happy, grateful for this in my life, like, so every second of this is great for me. But in the end, I always go back to my house in Brazil. I never change. I never moved to somewhere other country, but I really admire people that support us, and you support them, support other bands, and you support other bands or whatever. So it's something magical, I'm fucking happy.
If I may ask something that might sound silly, but when you hear someone from Portugal speak Portuguese, does that person sound a little gay?
Sounds really weird for me. It's like the British English for you, American English, or the French from Canada, France. It sounds always different. And sounds really polite, really old for me. But I love Portugal, man. Portugal is great, yeah.
Have you played there?
Every year.
And so, how are you? What is the reaction to a Brazilian band playing Portugal? And when Portuguese hear your Brazilian Portuguese,
they love it. Like our Brazilian bands, like Sepultura, Ratos de Porão, whatever, RDP. In Portugal, they're fucking huge. When you play in Portugal, they love us there. It's fucking amazing. And we play there like it's like playing home, and they even dig it more because they feel like Brazil is their biggest pride for Portugal. You understand that? Yeah.
Well, Brazil is a huge country. It's bigger than Germany.
Man, it's bigger than the whole of Europe.
Yeah, yes. So, do you find it aggravating that you do not have the same welcome as maybe Max from Sepultura?
Sure. I think even Max is not getting that recognition.
Oh, really?
Since he moved to US.
Yeah.
But I think the new Sepultura in Brazil, I love them. I love Andreas Kisser. He's one of my main influences. But it's a different band, and they are. I don't want to say the word overrated, but in Brazil they got a lot of stuff going on for them. They play every Rock and Rio there and shit, big festivals, and they never ask us to be there. Well, actually, we play once, but they play every year. The Andreas Kisser band called Sepultura, the American guy, whatever. But for me, in the end, they are a bit overrated. Yeah, for sure.
So you were kind of an expert where you predicted that some people. Did you ever predict that Dave Vincent would be he would admit that he was bisexual or molested, or did you not?
I'm not sure about that. I don't know his personal life or whatever.
You've never met him?
No, I met him. I met him. I mean, he's a nice guy, man.
Right. Well, I'm not
talented. He's really talented. He record the best Morbid Angel records, in my opinion.
Yeah, same here. But as far as early in the days, everyone, it was almost, metal was like communism where you couldn't disrespect anybody. But I don't want to say anything that you said, but maybe you predicted that some people would be proved that they were posers. So you don't have to name names, but are you glad that you were never quiet when someone was being a poser?
No, I get it. Like, we always see when someone's going to be a poser. it's easy to predict that. But whatever is their choice, man. It's not my deal to...
Right.
They are wrong or right. Whatever they do, it's their right to do. Everybody's free. Because otherwise we will be like Nazi people, like preaching, you have to be this, you have to be that. So it's their choice. Well, do what you want, that's the whole law.
Well, let me ask you something about Brazil versus America. In America, I don't know if you understand that now there's censorship and you cannot really say your true opinion about things. Like metal from the past is now evil. Like if you say your mind, they don't understand that there was no hatred, it was just truth. There's no hatred in truth. But is Brazil being like America where you get punished for saying certain jokes or...
Actually, right now, our president in Brazil is a right-wing president.
Right wing.
Yeah, in Brazil. Yeah. And they already killed like 8,000 black people in Brazil from 2-3 years from them to now. You know, it's
I had no idea.
Yeah, you don't know that, but he's really connected to Donald Trump and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, really racist, really all this homophobic, whatever type of problem, you know. And in Brazil right now we are facing a lot of censorship with bands and stuff. They're canceling some shows there.
Really?
Yeah, it's happening there. Yeah, bad, but real.
So do you have the same thing as Antifa in America and Europe in Brazil, or something?
No,
similar?
yeah, sure. We have some people that are fighting against them. Like it's big in Brazil right now.
Big
in Brazil. Big in Brazil. Because Brazil is such like a rich country, man. So much petroleum, cattle stocks, and whatever. The country is huge, and U.S. is looking for that. So Trump is connected to Brazil with this new president, which is like a douchebag, and there's a lot of problems happening in Brazil right now concerning about censorship, religion, freedom, about that. Yeah, it's a big deal.
Well, could you tell Television Land the biggest difference between Black Force Domain and your new album?
Actually, the new album, we really get back for the Black Force Domain shit.
Really?
Yeah. More relentless, more straightforward, more organic. We try to avoid all type of editions or whatever. For some new kids, they were saying, "Oh, you guys, it's kind of weird," but man, it's all analog. You know, we try to sound really not compressed, not compression, no nothing, like really pure sound. You know, like playing a live situation. And
so if I had a wave file of your band, would it have peaks and valleys, or would it all be one big rectangle?
Man, we'll be like this. Ups and down. Will not be a break. All compressed.
So how do you feel about the compressed quality of albums on MP3?
When I hear the new records, when the first time I hear it, I can say, "Oh, it sounds good. It's okay." But after listening 2-3 times, I get tired because it's too compressed, too digital for me. Then I get back for the old records. I like Peace of Mind or Iron Maiden or Raining Blood or whatever, which are not compressed records. Like there's no compression at all. So you listen more like the vibe, the dynamics. And some bands nowadays is like a brick. It's all compressed, you know, like drum, like bass drum, guitars. It's too compressed, and then that don't fit on me. You know, I like raw stuff. I like Hendrix, man. I like Black Sabbath. I like deepness in the music. You know, I don't like the over-the-top stuff all the time. You know, but it's my shit. You know?
What is your favorite memory of playing live? It doesn't matter which country, what the situation was, how many people, but why was it your favorite?
It was when we support Black Sabbath in Brazil. There was a show in Brazil, and we support Black Sabbath, and I saw Tony Iommi there on the side of the stage, and that just frightened me so bad, you know. Like that was the best moment in my life, and so it's, man, Black Sabbath are the creators of this, you know. So it's like, man, we are supporting. It's not a festival. It's like a normal show. We are opening for Black Sabbath, and that happened in Brazil. So it was like, man, nothing can get better than that.
Well, the reason I ask about that, or the reason why I'm most interested about that memory of yours, is that Black Sabbath was a band that played by feel.
Yes.
But if someone if someone heard Krisiun and your guitar playing and your soloing especially, you're a dexterity player.
Some here and there, but not really, man. No. I'm on rock and roll. I'm blues, man. I'm pentatonic guy.
Really, every solo is pentatonic?
No. I go for some harmonic minor, some diminished, but most what I do is pentatonic. Yeah, most of it.
So, if you were to talk to a young person who wants to pick up a guitar and play, would you say no, don't do it? in this time?
No, I never say nobody don't do this. Everyone is free to do whatever they want. That's how things happen, you know, like you're free to do whatever you want.
All right, so yeah, I did want to ask a little bit about your guitar playing because I never asked you serious questions before.
Okay, good, man.
But I just love that people who wanted to hate your guitar playing loved you after seeing you.
Yeah, man.
And you're not a sloppy player at all.
Yeah, man, I can be sloppy some nights for sure, man. I'm not perfect, you know, like there's no rule, man. Music is just an expression about your soul and heart, how you feel on the day, you know. I don't want to be like a machine playing perfect every night. You see like bands like Hendrix or whatever, he had bad nights, good nights. It's the vibe, man. It's the feeling you have, you know, like, so like, man, don't expect me to be perfect. Look for someone, look for Petrucci from Dream Theater or those type of players that play perfect every night. We are much more into the death metal thing, the thrash metal, grindcore, whatever, you know. It's more about the feel of the music or the vibe, what the crowd gives you and we give them back, you know, like it's natural, man. We are natural players. We are not the best. We are not pretend to be the best, man. We just want to play, man. Metal, like old school metal, man. It's as long as I hear my amp and it's have a good tone, I'm there, man. I'm there. Yeah.
Do you have any children?
Not yet.
I don't know by the sound of that name is it's male or female.
About what?
Your child.
I don't have a child.
Okay, what did you say then?
I told you I don't have a child yet.
Okay. All right. So if you had a son or a daughter who wanted to play guitar, would you say don't do it or no?
Do it.
Yeah.
If you feel like, do it. Do it.
All right, so we're wrapping up, and if you could plug anything you want to plug about Krisiun, and only have the camera on.
Thank you so much for everyone that supported us throughout the years, and I'm really happy after all those years we are here in Dallas, Texas, bringing some death metal for y'all. And I thank you, Bill Zebub, after all those years to be here. I'm happy, and man, I'm a happy person. Thank you so much.
No website or anything?
Man, it's no website. Facebook, Instagram, Google Krisiun, you're gonna find us there.
All right, very good.
Fucking old school.
Yeah.